How Not to Screw Up in Life by Jake Monroe. Published by Audiobooks Hub. Introduction. Let's face it, life is messy. It doesn't come with instructions, and most of us are figuring it out while trying not to fall flat on our faces. We scroll past perfect lives on social media, get advice from people who don't follow their own, and wake up in the middle of the night wondering if we've already messed it all up beyond repair. The truth? You're not alone. And no, it's not too late. This book isn't about some grand theory, some guru steps to enlightenment, or the magical solution to every problem. It's not a lecture. It's a conversation, raw, honest, and maybe just a little uncomfortable at times. Because the only way to truly not screw up your life is to look at where people usually do and learn. Not screwing up your life doesn't mean becoming a billionaire, achieving enlightenment, or turning into some productivity machine that wakes up at 5 a.m. and eats kale. It means knowing yourself, making decisions that don't leave you in regret, and building a life that feels right when you wake up in the morning, not one that just looks good in Instagram highlights. This book is for the overthinkers, the people who made some questionable choices and are wondering if they still have time to course correct, the ones who feel stuck, the ones who are succeeding on paper but feel hollow inside, and especially for the people who feel like everyone else got the memo on life and they missed it. We're going to talk about the real stuff: identity, purpose, money, love, failure, boredom, fear, habits, and how all of it either builds your life or burns it down. Each chapter is built to be practical, grounded, and honest. Not just ideas to think about, but tools to use. And at the end of it all, there's a secret. A truth most people never get to because they're too busy playing someone else's game. But if you're willing to take this journey, be brutally honest with yourself, and drop the BS, you just might find that life isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about choosing the ones worth making. So take a breath. We're about to dive in. It's not too late. You haven't screwed it all up. Not yet. You're still writing your story. Let's make it one worth telling. Chapter 1. You don't know who you are, and that's a problem. Most people are wandering through life, wearing masks they didn't even choose. The good employee mask, the cool friend mask, the responsible adult mask, the I've got all figured out mask, and underneath all that, a person who's not quite sure who they are without it. That's where screwing up your life usually starts, with identity confusion. Here's a truth no one likes to say out loud. If you don't know who you are, the world will decide for you. You'll end up in a career you don't care about, in a relationship that drains you, living in a place that doesn't inspire you, surrounded by people you secretly can't stand. And the scary part? You'll think it's normal. That's how life becomes a slow burn of dissatisfaction. It doesn't collapse in a single moment. It fades, day by day, into a version of yourself you no longer recognize. You stop dreaming. You start coping. You keep busy, thinking that's the same as moving forward. But it's not. So let's start at ground zero. Who are you? Not your job title. Not your relationship status. Not what your parents expect or your followers admire. Not your zodiac sign or Enneagram type. You, when no one's watching, when nothing is demanded of you, when you don't have to perform. That person is the one you need to meet. But meeting yourself isn't always comfortable. You'll discover things you've avoided, desires you've buried, fears you've masked as confidence. You'll realize that some of the goals you've chased weren't even yours. They were society's checklists dressed up as personal dreams. And realizing that is liberating, because now you can start again. Not from scratch, from truth. Start asking questions that matter. What makes you feel alive? What do you keep coming back to, even when no one is rewarding you for it? What kind of people do you admire and why? What are the values you actually live by, not just the ones you post about? If your answers scare you or surprise you, good. That means you're digging past the surface. It's easy to get caught in the game of becoming someone other people will approve of. Parents, teachers, bosses, society. They all project their version of a good life onto you, and if you're not careful, you'll play their game your whole life and lose your own. Here's a better plan. Be hard to define. Don't rush to label yourself or fit into boxes. Explore. Experiment. Try different roles, hobbies, perspectives. Not everything needs to turn into a side hustle or a LinkedIn skill. Sometimes the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in curiosity, not productivity. At the same time, start subtracting. Get rid of the versions of yourself that are built on fear or other people's expectations. The one who stays in a relationship just to avoid loneliness. The one who picked a career because it made sense. The one who never speaks their mind because they're scared of being disliked. Kill that version, politely, firmly, and then move forward. Identity is not something you declare once and live by forever. It's something you build, refine, and evolve as you grow. It's okay to outgrow dreams, relationships, opinions. You are not a fixed object. You're a work in progress. That's not a flaw. That's freedom. But don't confuse freedom with directionlessness. Knowing who you are doesn't mean you figured everything out. It just means you've chosen to stop lying to yourself. And that's a massive step. Because once you're clear on who you are, or at least who you're not, everything else starts to shift. You'll notice which habits don't fit anymore. You'll see how some people in your life only like the mask, not the real you. You'll realize that your time and energy are precious, and that giving them away to the wrong things is a form of self-betrayal. So here's your challenge. Stop pretending. Stop playing roles that drain you. Stop chasing approval. Stop hiding behind, I don't know, when deep down you do know. You're just scared of what that truth might require you to change. Take a notebook. Start writing. No filters. No edits. Just stream of consciousness answers to real questions. Who am I when no one needs anything from me? What do I actually care about? What am I sick of pretending to like? Where do I feel most alive? What version of myself do I want to grow into? You won't find all the answers in one night, but the more honest you get, the clearer things become. You'll start making different choices. You'll start trusting your gut more, and you'll feel something rare, alignment, the sense that your inner world and outer world are finally speaking the same language. That's the foundation of a life that doesn't get screwed up, not perfection, not popularity, but personal truth. Start there. Everything else can be rebuilt. Chapter 2. You're letting fear drive, and it's taking you nowhere. Most people don't ruin their lives by doing something outrageous. They ruin them quietly, by letting fear sit behind the wheel. It starts small. You don't speak up, don't apply, don't ask, don't try. You make safe choices. You avoid risks. You convince yourself it's all about being responsible or realistic. But if you dig deeper, what's really guiding those decisions is fear. Fear of failing. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of rejection. Fear of success. Yep, that's a real one. Fear of not being enough. The tricky thing about fear is it sounds reasonable. It shows up in your thoughts disguised as logic. Now is not the right time. I'm not ready. What if it doesn't work out? Fear is clever. It knows if it screamed, you'd notice. So it whispers. And if you're not paying attention, you start calling those whispers common sense. But let's be clear. Fear doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about keeping you safe. Not happy, not fulfilled, just safe. And while safety has its place, too much it will trap you in a life that feels small and lifeless. The most dangerous thing about fear, it's good at making you wait. Wait until you feel ready. Wait until the conditions are perfect. Wait until someone gives you permission. Wait until the anxiety goes away. Spoiler, it won't. Fear doesn't disappear when you wait. It just gets more comfortable in control. So, what does that look like in real life? It looks like staying in a job you hate because it pays the bills. It looks like not starting the project you daydream about because you might fail. It looks like settling in a relationship because being alone feels scarier than being unhappy. It looks like watching time pass while convincing yourself that next year will be the one you finally change. One day turns into a month turns into a year, and then you look around and realize you've built your entire life around avoiding discomfort. You can't live a brave life while letting fear make your choices. Courage isn't about the absence of fear. It's about doing the thing anyway. Scared, messy, unsure. It's about deciding that what you want matters more than what you fear. Start noticing where fear shows up. It's not just in the big decisions. It's everywhere. When you hesitate to say what you really think. When you downplay your own ideas. When you stay quiet in a room full of people. When you don't ask for what you need. That's fear, quietly running your life. Call it out. You don't need to fight fear. You just need to stop letting it lead. Treat it like an annoying backseat driver. Acknowledge it, then go where you were going anyway. Every time you act in spite of fear, you grow, you stretch, you gain evidence that you're capable. And eventually, fear loses its power because you stop believing its lies. And make no mistake, fear lies. It tells you that failing will destroy you. It won't. Failure teaches faster than any success ever could. It tells you that people are judging you. They're not. They're too busy worrying about themselves. It tells you you're not ready. But readiness is not a feeling. It's a decision. You don't wait to feel confident. You act and confidence comes after. Start taking small, brave steps. Say the uncomfortable truth. Apply for the thing. Launch the project. Walk away from what doesn't fit. Speak when your voice shakes. Every small act of courage is a brick in the foundation of a life you're proud of. Will you mess up sometimes? Definitely. But screwing up while being brave is better than living a life that never had the guts to begin. And don't confuse anxiety with intuition. Anxiety shrinks you. Intuition grounds you. Anxiety says don't. Intuition says, not like this. Learn the difference. You'll save yourself years of playing small in the name of playing it safe. If fear is a constant companion in your life, you're not broken. You're human. But don't let that be an excuse to stay stuck. You are not here to tiptoe through life just to arrive safely at death. You are here to try, to risk, to create, to fail, to rise, and to live fully. Courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed when everything feels heavy. Sometimes it's sending the message, asking the question, quitting the thing that's killing you slowly. Sometimes it's deciding this time to do it scared. So ask yourself this, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And then, just for today, do one small piece of it. The more you practice this, the more you realize fear doesn't go away, but you get stronger. That's how you stop screwing up your life. You stop letting fear decide what's possible. Chapter 3. You're addicted to comfort, and it's killing your potential. Comfort feels good. It's warm, familiar, predictable. It's the Netflix binge, the scrolling, the food delivery, the same conversations with the same people, the job you've already mastered, the days that blur together. There's nothing wrong with comfort in moderation, but when comfort becomes your goal, it quietly becomes your prison. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Comfort is a liar. It tells you things are fine when they're not. It seduces you into settling. It convinces you that growth is dangerous, risk is irresponsible, and change is unnecessary. And over time, it makes you forget what you're capable of. Most people don't screw up their lives in a blaze of destruction. They screw them up slowly by choosing comfort over growth again and again until one day they wake up numb and unmotivated, wondering where the fire went. Comfort numbs ambition. It blunts your instincts. It dulls your hunger. And when you stop striving, you stop evolving. Growth isn't comfortable. It's painful, awkward, uncertain. It means confronting your weaknesses. It means being bad at something before you get good. It means asking questions you don't have the answers to. It means failing, publicly, sometimes, but the alternative? Wasting your one shot at life inside a carefully curated bubble of fake safety. Look around. The life you have now is the result of your comfort zone. Your routines, your habits, your decisions, they're all designed to keep things familiar. But if you want something different, something better, you have to step out of that bubble. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to quit your job and move to Bali tomorrow. You just need to start choosing challenge over easy more often than not. Wake up earlier than you want. Read something that confuses you. Talk to someone who disagrees with you. Take the class. Start the side hustle. Learn the skill that makes you feel stupid. Say yes before you're ready. Say no when it scares you. Get uncomfortable on purpose. Your brain won't like it. It's wired to seek comfort. That's how it survived, by avoiding risk. But you're not in survival mode anymore. You're trying to live. And living, real living, happens just past the point where most people quit. If you always need to feel ready, feel safe, feel certain, you'll wait forever. No one builds a remarkable life on the foundation of, I just want to feel good right now. Ask yourself this. When was the last time you did something for the first time? If your answer makes you uncomfortable, that's the point. There's a version of you, stronger, sharper, more fulfilled, that you can't meet unless you're willing to leave the current version behind. And that means breaking your relationship with comfort as your guiding principle. The gym hurts. Learning hurts. Confronting your own BS hurts. But avoiding those things hurts more. In the long run, the regret of what could have been always cuts deeper than the pain of temporary discomfort. Stop negotiating with your limitations. Stop telling yourself, this is just who I am. It's not. It's who you practice being. You can always change the practice, but only if you're willing to be uncomfortable for a while. Because comfort doesn't build resilience. Comfort doesn't develop skills. Comfort doesn't lead to breakthroughs. Discomfort does. That feeling you get when you're in unfamiliar territory, that's the signal that you're growing. That's where all the magic happens. You don't need to become a masochist. You don't need to suffer for the sake of it, but you do need to stop avoiding the stretch. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Instead of asking, will this be easy? Ask, will this make me grow? If the answer is yes, lean in, even if it's inconvenient, awkward, or scary. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is, I'll do it later. Later is the language of comfort. Later is procrastination dressed up in a polite tone. Later is how people end up living the same year 40 times and calling it a life. You want to stop screwing up your life? Start doing hard things now. Discomfort today is strength tomorrow. Every time you push through the urge to take the easy way out, you build discipline. You train your mind. You show yourself what you're capable of. And over time, that compound interest of discomfort becomes freedom, because that's the ultimate irony. The more you chase comfort, the more trapped you become. But the more you embrace discomfort, the more freedom you earn. The freedom to choose your life. The freedom to build something meaningful. The freedom to look back without regret. So start today. Do something uncomfortable on purpose. Let it stretch you. Let it sting a little. Then do it again tomorrow. And the next day. You won't always feel motivated. That's okay. You don't need motivation. You need momentum. And momentum doesn't live in your comfort zone. Chapter 4. You care too much about what people think. And it's ruining everything. Let's get honest. A big part of what's holding you back has nothing to do with talent, opportunity, or resources, and everything to do with other people's opinions. You want to post that idea, start that thing, speak your truth, live your life differently, but a little voice in your head whispers, "What will they think?" And just like that, you shrink. You abandon your dreams for approval. You filter your truth for acceptance. You trade your authenticity for applause. You say yes when you mean no. You play small, so no one feels threatened. And you tell yourself it's smart, that you're just being polite or humble or practical. But deep down, you know you're living for everyone except yourself. Here's the ugly truth. The more you care about looking good, the less you'll actually live well. You'll become a master of appearances, but a stranger to your real self. And eventually, you won't even know what you want anymore, because you've spent so long trying to be what everyone else likes. The fear of judgment is real. Humans are wired for connection, and for most of history, being rejected by the group meant danger. But today, that fear doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. It makes you choose a career to impress your parents, not fulfill your purpose. It makes you stay silent in rooms where your voice is needed. It makes you edit your life so much it becomes unrecognizable. It makes you delay your dreams until they're socially acceptable. But let's face it, no matter what you do, people will judge you. Do something bold, they'll say you're arrogant. Play it safe, they'll say you're lazy. Speak your truth, too loud. Keep quiet, too weak. You can't win that game, so stop playing it. Here's the shift. Trade validation for freedom. Because real freedom begins the moment you stop needing everyone to understand you. Not everyone has to get it. Not everyone has to support you. Not everyone has to like you. And if they all do, it probably means you're hiding something real. Think about the people you admire. Are they universally liked? No, they're polarizing, bold, clear, real, and that's what makes them magnetic. You're not here to be everyone's favorite. You're here to be yourself unapologetically. Caring too much about what others think leads to fake life, a fragile one where your confidence rises and falls based on likes, comments, and compliments. That's not strength. That's emotional slavery. So how do you break free? First, catch yourself people-pleasing in real time. Notice the moment you say yes when you mean no. Catch the moment you bite your tongue when you have something important to say. Pause when you feel the urge to explain or justify your choices. These are signals, and they're telling you where you've outsourced your power. Second, ask yourself, whose opinion really matters? Not everyone's voice should carry weight. Build an inner circle of trusted voices. People who actually know you, want what's best for you, and aren't just projecting their fears onto your path. Everyone else? Background noise. Third, start choosing self-respect over approval. Every time you tell the truth, even if it's awkward, you grow. Every time you honor your boundaries, even if it disappoints someone, you grow. Every time you stand in your full self, even when it's uncomfortable, you grow. And that growth, it's how you build an unshakable identity. Because here's the secret. The more you accept yourself, the less you need others to. You become someone who doesn't need permission to be real. Someone who can walk into a room without shrinking. Someone who speaks, acts, and lives from a place of wholeness, not performance. Imagine how much lighter life gets when you stop performing. Imagine waking up and making decisions based on what you value, not what will get the best reaction. Imagine putting your phone down and still feeling worthy. Imagine creating, expressing, and existing, not for applause, but because it's true. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. You don't need to become careless or rude. You can still be kind, still be considerate. But don't confuse kindness with self-erasure. Don't confuse being polite with being a doormat. You can be respectful and still hold your own. And when you do that, when you stop living for the crowd, something wild happens. The right people start showing up, the ones who like the real you, the ones who don't need you to water yourself down to feel comfortable, the ones who challenge you, support you, and help you grow. That's what happens when you stop caring what everyone thinks. You make space for the right people to find you. So next time you hesitate, next time you feel yourself folding under the pressure of other people's opinions, ask yourself one simple question. Is their approval worth my peace? The answer will show you everything you need to know. Chapter 5. You're surrounded by the wrong people. It's poisoning your life. Let's get one thing straight. You are not as independent as you think. You are, to a large extent, a reflection of the people you spend the most time with. Their energy rubs off on you. Their habits, thoughts, moods, and expectations bleed into your mind like ink and water. You start becoming like them, slowly, quietly, almost without noticing. That's why one of the fastest ways to screw up your life is to surround yourself with the wrong people. You know the type, the constant complainers, the dream killers, the ones who always have drama but never solutions, the ones who secretly root for your failure because your growth makes them uncomfortable, the ones who laugh when you try something new, the ones who say, "That's unrealistic," when you share your goals. These people aren't always villains. They're often just stuck themselves, in fear and mediocrity, in a loop they never escaped. But if you keep them close, you'll start living their story instead of your own. If your circle doesn't challenge you, it limits you. The wrong people keep you small, not by force, but by influence. You start second-guessing your instincts. You lower your standards. You start making excuses that sound like them. You settle for conversations about people instead of ideas. You play it safe, because taking risks would mean outgrowing them, and that feels uncomfortable. Sometimes the worst advice comes wrapped in love. I just don't want to see you get hurt. Are you sure that's a good idea? You're already doing fine. Why rock the boat? If you listen too long, you start believing them. Not because they're right, but because you've given them your ears, your energy, and your trust. But here's the truth. Not everyone deserves access to you. You don't owe loyalty to people who keep you from your potential. You don't have to dim your light to make others feel comfortable. And you definitely don't have to apologize for growing. Sometimes growth means distance. You don't have to cut people off with drama or anger. You just have to start choosing where your energy goes. You get to be selective. You get to say, I'm protecting my peace. I'm leveling up. I'm choosing alignment over attachment because your future is too important to be built in the wrong environment. Look around. Are the people in your life pushing you forward or holding you back? Are they inspired or threatened by your ambition? Do they clap when you win, or do they go quiet? Do they call you higher, or do they pull you sideways? Your environment isn't neutral. It's shaping you always. The good news? You get to change it. Start surrounding yourself with people who want more. People who think big, act bold, and live with purpose. People who talk about ideas, build things, chase dreams. People who make you feel challenged, not coddled. People who won't let you coast. And no, it doesn't mean you need 1,000,000 successful friends. It means you need honest ones, intentional ones, people with vision, people with discipline, people who take their lives seriously and will help you take yours seriously too. If you don't know where to find them, start by becoming one. Elevate yourself. Be the energy you want to attract. When you do, you naturally start meeting people on that frequency. You recognize each other. You connect deeper, faster. That's real community. It might feel lonely at first. Growth often does. There's a grieving process that comes with letting go of old friendships that no longer fit. But what's worse, a little loneliness now, or a lifetime of pretending to be someone you're not? Because let's be honest, if you're pretending around your friends, they're not really your friends. They're just people who like your mask. You deserve more than that. You deserve to be around people who see you and still cheer you on. People who challenge your excuses. People who remind you who you are when you forget. People who don't just talk about dreams, but actually chase them. So take inventory. Audit your circle. Ask the hard questions. Be brutally honest about the energy you allow in your life. It matters more than you think, because the people around you are either helping you build your future or quietly helping you destroy it. Chapter 6. You're wasting time and pretending you're busy. Let's talk about time, your most precious non-refundable asset. It's the one resource you can never earn back. Every minute you waste is a minute you'll never see again. And yet, most people treat time like they have an unlimited supply, throw it away on meaningless distractions and fake productivity. If you're screwing up your life, there's a high chance this is part of the problem. You're busy, but you're not actually moving. You're filling your hours, but not your purpose. You look active, but you're not making progress. You're always working on it, always about to start, always too overwhelmed. But what are you actually doing? Scrolling for hours and calling it research. Watching motivational videos, but taking no action. Journaling about plans you never execute. Telling yourself you're tired when you've done nothing that matters. Saying yes to things that steal your focus and energy. It's not that you don't have time. It's that you're not being honest about how you're using it. You want to build a better life? Then start treating your time like it matters. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Time isn't something you find. It's something you protect. You don't just wake up one day with space to chase your goals. You make space. You fight for it. You cut the noise. You prioritize like your life depends on it. Because it actually does. Here's the brutal truth. Most people don't fail because they lack ambition. They fail because they keep postponing their ambition until things settle down. But life never settles down. There will always be distractions, fires to put out, notifications buzzing, people pulling you in every direction. If you don't take control of your time, someone else will. And they'll use it for their agenda, not yours. The calendar doesn't lie. If your time isn't reflecting your goals, then neither is your life. Want to know what you truly value? Look at what you consistently make time for. That's your real priority, no matter what your mouth says. Here's a wake-up call. Being busy is not a badge of honor. It's often just poor time management in disguise. Real productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Stop overloading your to-do list with nonsense. Stop saying yes to every invite, every favor, every distraction disguised as an opportunity. Start asking yourself one question before every decision. Does this move me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, say no, ruthlessly. Protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. You only get so many deep work hours a week. You only get so many mornings where your mind is sharp. You only get so many seasons where you're young, healthy, and full of energy. Are you using those seasons to build something real, or to consume content made by people who already did? Time leaks are everywhere. Social media, pointless arguments, mindless habits, cluttered environments, undefined goals, passive entertainment, emotional drama. Audit them. Plug the holes. Take your life back. You don't need a 10-year plan. You need a 24-hour one, repeated with discipline. You need to wake up and act like what you do today actually matters, because it does. Every day is a brick. Every hour is a tool. You're either building a life or just watching others build theirs while you scroll. Nobody is coming to rescue your time. You have to reclaim it. That might mean waking up an hour earlier, saying no to plans that drain you, scheduling your goals like meetings, turning off your phone for real blocks of focus, choosing boredom over dopamine hits, so your mind has room to think. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's inconvenient. But so is regret. You can either suffer now with discipline, structure, and focus, or suffer later with disappointment, burnout, and what-ifs. Either way, time will pass. The question is, what will you have to show for it? So stop pretending you're too busy. You're not. You're distracted. You're misaligned. You're not prioritizing what matters. But that can change today, right now, in this very moment, because you still have time until you don't. And when the clock runs out, it won't care about your excuses. Chapter 7. You keep waiting for motivation, and it's never coming. Here's a harsh truth most people don't want to hear. Motivation is overrated. It's unreliable. It's inconsistent. It's a terrible strategy for building a life. If you're waiting to feel like it before you act, you've already lost. You'll keep waiting. Days will pass, then weeks, then years, and your life will stay exactly the same. The reason so many people screw up their lives is because they keep chasing a feeling instead of committing to a decision. They say, I'll start when I'm ready. I'll get to it when I'm in the mood. I just need to feel more inspired. But here's what successful people know. You don't wait for motivation. You create momentum. Momentum is what gets results. And results are what fuel motivation, not the other way around. You're not tired because you worked too hard. You're tired because you haven't started. You're not uninspired because you lack potential. You're uninspired because you're not moving. Action is what activates energy. You don't need to feel ready to get started. You need to get started so you can feel ready. Think about brushing your teeth. Do you wake up every day waiting for motivation to hit you before you do it? No, you just do it. It's not exciting. It's not thrilling. But it's non-negotiable. It's a habit. You've trained yourself to get it done whether you feel like it or not. That's how real success is built. Through discipline, not desire. The people who make things happen don't have superhuman energy. They don't have a secret formula. They just decided that their goals mattered more than their mood. They show up. They push through. They act, even when they don't feel like it. Especially when they don't feel like it. And here's the truth. The first few minutes of anything are the hardest. Starting is the enemy. But once you're in motion, it gets easier. You build rhythm, you build flow, and suddenly, you're doing the thing you've been avoiding for months. It's not magic, it's physics. An object in motion stays in motion, but you have to start. And starting usually means ignoring your feelings. Your brain will come up with every excuse in the book. It's not the right time. I'm too tired. It won't work anyway. What's the point? All lies. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you from discomfort, from change, from failure. It wants to keep you safe, small, and the same. But if you listen to that voice, you'll never evolve. You'll just stay stuck in a cycle of overthinking and underdoing. Here's how to break that cycle. 1. Shrink the task. Make it so small, your brain can't say no. Don't write a book. Write 1 sentence. Don't work out for an hour. Do 10 push-ups. Don't clean the whole house. Just clear the desk. Momentum is more important than intensity. 2. Schedule the action. If it's not on your calendar, it's not real. Set a time. Set a place. Treat it like a meeting with your future self. And show up. 3. Build rituals, not routines. Rituals are anchored in meaning. They remind you why you're doing this. Light a candle. Play a specific song. Wear the same hoodie. Turn your habits into ceremonies. Make them sacred. For expect resistance and do it anyway. Discipline isn't the absence of resistance. It's your decision to move forward despite it. Get used to the inner tug of war. Recognize it. Name it. Then act in spite of it. 5. Celebrate action, not outcome. Don't wait to feel proud until you've arrived. Be proud that you showed up, that you fought through the noise, that you did the hard thing when it was easier not to. Because here's what most people never realize. Motivation doesn't lead to action. Action leads to motivation. You don't need more hype. You need more reps. You don't need a better plan. You need better execution. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be ready by doing the damn thing, one imperfect step at a time. So stop waiting to feel inspired. Stop chasing the perfect moment. Stop needing the stars to align. Start now, right here, right where you are with what you have. Because that's how real change begins. Not with a spark, but with a choice. And the ones who win in life, they make that choice daily. Chapter 8. You're afraid to fail, so you're failing anyway. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Fear of failure is one of the fastest ways to guarantee a mediocre life. It's the silent killer of dreams. The invisible hand that keeps you safe, but stuck. The sad irony is that by trying so hard not to fail, you end up failing by default. You fail to try. You fail to grow. You fail to live. People waste years trying to avoid the embarrassment, rejection, or discomfort that comes with failing, not realizing that the real danger isn't falling down. It's standing still. You think staying in your comfort zone is protecting you, but it's actually suffocating you. Nothing good grows in that stale little bubble. No bold life is built there. No greatness. No breakthroughs. No becoming who you're meant to be. Because real life begins where comfort ends. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a path to it. Everyone who's ever done anything worthwhile has failed. Repeatedly, publicly, messily, painfully. But they kept going. They understood something most people never do. Failure isn't final. It's feedback. It's course correction. It's proof that you're actually doing something. The only people who don't fail are the ones who aren't trying. The problem is, You've been conditioned to treat failure like shame, like proof you're not good enough. But that's just ego talking. It's scared. It wants to be perfect. It wants applause without risk. It wants to win without losing. And that's not how life works. If you're not willing to suck at something first, you'll never get good at anything. So what if it's awkward? So what if people laugh? So what if you mess up? What's the worst that could happen? Someone doesn't like your post. Your idea doesn't work? You start over? That's not the end. That's the beginning. You have to be brave enough to look stupid, to be a beginner, to take the leap even when your voice shakes. Because that's what builds confidence. Not thinking about action, not planning endlessly, doing, failing, learning, adapting, repeating. Every skill you admire, someone once sucked at it. Every expert you respect, they were once a clueless rookie. Every success story you've ever heard, it's just a highlight reel on top of a mountain of screw-ups, setbacks, and self-doubt. But they kept moving. That's the difference. The people who win in life aren't fearless. They're just more committed than they are scared. Fear is natural. Let it ride with you. Just don't let it drive. You'll never eliminate fear, but you can shrink it. You shrink it by doing things you're scared of over and over until they lose their power. Action dissolves fear. Every time you show up anyway, fear gets smaller and you get bigger. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Failure isn't proof you're broken. It's proof you're building. It means you're in the arena. It means you're not hiding. It means you're trying, and that alone puts you ahead of most people. You will fail. That's guaranteed. What's not guaranteed is that you'll try again. That's the real test. So take the risk. Launch the thing. Ask the question. Make the call. Post the video. Apply anyway. Start the project. Speak your mind. Fall on your face and get back up with dirt in your teeth and a grin on your face. Because that's how you grow. The real failure, that's the life unlived. The dreams untouched. The talent unused. The you that could have been, if only you weren't so damn scared to try. The clock's ticking. You don't get to live forever. And one day, the chance you're afraid to take now will be gone. Don't wait until your deathbed to realize that fear wasn't the enemy. It was the compass. Chapter 9. You care too much about what people think, and it's paralyzing you. Let's be real. Most of what's holding you back isn't your lack of talent, money, or opportunity. It's your obsession with how other people see you. You're living for their approval, trapped in their expectations, and editing yourself so they'll clap for a version of you that isn't even real. You're scared to take risks because someone might laugh. You stay quiet because someone might judge. You don't follow your passion because someone might say, "Who does he think he is?" Here's the truth that stings. Most people aren't thinking about you at all. They're too busy worrying about themselves, their own image, their own fears, their own insecurities. You're a background character in most people's story, and yet you're letting their imaginary opinions direct your life like they're the main character. That's insane, and it's ruining your shot at something real. You weren't born to play a supporting role in your own life just to make other people comfortable. You weren't meant to shrink so others don't feel small. You weren't designed to fit in. You were meant to stand out. But standing out takes guts. It means some people won't get you. Some will mock you. Some will talk behind your back. So what? That's not your problem. Their opinion won't pay your bills. Their judgment won't build your dreams. Their comfort is not your responsibility. You will never live a powerful life if your self-worth is tied to what other people think. You want to stop screwing up your life? Let go of the need to be liked. The real ones don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be you. loudly, authentically, fearlessly. It's better to be disliked for who you are than loved for who you're not. And let's be honest, half the people you're trying to impress don't even like themselves. Why are you handing your power to someone who isn't even happy with their own life? When you spend your energy trying to avoid criticism, you also avoid impact. You avoid growth. You avoid authenticity. And ironically, the more you try to please everyone, the more invisible you become. Do you know who never gets criticized? People who do nothing, who say nothing, who stand for nothing. But do nothings also never get remembered. If you want to live boldly, if you want to actually matter, people will talk. Let them. It means you're doing something that registers. You're making waves. You're daring to be real in a world that thrives on fake. You don't owe anyone a performance. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't need permission to be who you are. The moment you realize that is the moment you get your life back. Because the opinions of others, they're just noise. And you know what drowns out noise? Results. When you stop explaining yourself and start creating, when you show up and do the thing, consistently, unapologetically, people stop laughing and start paying attention. Or they don't. Either way, you're free. So speak up, be weird, take the shot, post a video, say no, wear what you want, do the thing that scares you, live a life that makes you proud, not just your audience. And remember this, you're not for everyone. You're not supposed to be. Chapter 10, you're not taking responsibility. And it's time you did. The final piece of the puzzle, the most crucial element in not screwing up your life, is this ownership. Not just over the wins and the good things that happen, but over the failures, mistakes, and things that don't go your way. The moment you stop blaming others, circumstances, or your past for where you are, and start taking full responsibility for everything that happens, is the moment you take back control of your life. Until you accept responsibility for your situation, you'll remain a victim of it. It's easy to blame the economy for not having money. It's easy to blame your parents for how you were raised. It's easy to blame the government, your boss, your friends, your ex, your circumstances, your anything for why you haven't made it yet. But here's the thing. Blaming the world for your problems is a form of escape. It's an excuse. It's a way of keeping yourself stuck in the exact situation you're trying to get out of. Here's the brutal truth. Nobody is coming to fix your life. No magical event is going to happen. No one is going to hand you a perfect situation. And no one is going to make the uncomfortable choices for you. The person you need to blame for your life right now is the person you see in the mirror every morning. Now, I'm not saying everything that happened to you is your fault. Bad things happen. Life is unfair. But your response to those things, that's 100% on you. If you've been avoiding responsibility, you've been living in a passive state. You've let life happen to you. And guess what? Life doesn't wait for you to catch up. It keeps moving, regardless of whether or not you're ready. But here's the beauty of responsibility. When you take ownership of everything in your life, the good and the bad, you reclaim your power. You move from being a passenger to the driver. You stop feeling like the world is happening to you and start making the world happen for you. It's time to stop playing the victim. It's time to stop being a bystander in your own life. The moment you say, I am responsible for my outcomes, is the moment your entire mindset changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop looking for excuses. You stop blaming and start acting. You stop pretending like you have no control over your future, because you do. The truth is, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your own decision to own your actions. All those moments you've wasted worrying about what you can't change, they don't matter. What matters is what you do with what you've got right now. You're not stuck in a dead-end job because of the economy. You're stuck because you haven't made a decision to change. You're not overweight because of genetics. You're overweight because you haven't taken ownership of your health. You're not unhappy because of your circumstances. You're unhappy because you haven't chosen to create a life that's fulfilling. You're the author of your story. Every chapter is in your hands, but you need to step up and write it. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being responsible for your choices, for your habits, for your failures, for your growth. It's about no longer making excuses and taking full accountability for how you show up in this world. And here's the kicker. Once you start taking full responsibility for your life, you'll stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like a creator. You'll stop making excuses and start making progress. You'll stop waiting for something outside of you to change and start changing yourself. You'll stop letting life control you and start controlling your life. Taking responsibility means that your life, your results, your happiness, they're all your job. No one can do it for you. It's a hard truth. But once you embrace it, everything else becomes possible. So stop blaming. Stop waiting. Stop feeling powerless. Step into your power. Take responsibility for your life and start building it. Because if you don't, who will?